Texas Travel Tales, Quanah and Cynthia Ann Parker, a tale of the fearless Comanche chief who loved his mother. Quanah Parker, the final chief of the Quahati Comanche Indians, stands out in history as the most formidable among the Comanche chiefs along the Texas frontier. His unique heritage as the son of the renowned war chief Peta Nakona and Cynthia Ann Parker, who was a white woman, made him a man of two worlds, half white, half Comanche. During the 1860s, the Quahatis, which means antelopes, distinguished themselves as the most warlike and militant among the Comanche tribes. Among them, Quanah emerged as a skilled horseman and a capable leader, surpassing others in stature, strength, speed, and wit. His reputation grew as he never succumbed in battle to the relentless soldiers who pursued him. Stories of his elusive nature on the vast plains, where he seemed to vanish into thin air under the bright panhandle sun, added to his mystique. Quanah's striking appearance could easily rival that of a modern-day movie star. Notably, he held the distinction of being the final Comanche chief to voluntarily relocate to a reservation without facing military defeat. However, beyond the legendary figure of Quanah Parker lies the poignant tale of his mother, Cynthia Ann Parker. When she was 9 or 10 years old, Cynthia Ann's family moved to central Texas and established Fort Parker near the Navasota River in present-day Limestone County. Tragedy struck on May 19, 1836, when Comanche warriors, supported by Kiowa and Keechai allies, attacked the fort, killing many inhabitants and taking 5 captives. Among them was Cynthia Ann. All of the captives were eventually released except Cynthia Ann. She remained with the Comanche for nearly 25 years. She was raised as a Comanche, eventually married Chief Nakona, and had 3 children, the oldest being Quanah Parker. She embraced the Comanche way of life, rejecting opportunities to return to her Anglo family despite pleas from her brother. Despite many efforts to ransom her back, the Comanches refused, honoring Cynthia Ann's choice to remain with the family she loved dearly. She was culturally a Comanche despite her birth. She was the wife of a chief and a mother who did not want to be separated from her children. Years later, Cynthia Ann Parker's camp was ambushed by the Texas Rangers. Her husband perished in the attack, but her 2 young sons managed to flee. Cynthia Ann was finally rescued from captivity, yet to her, it felt like being snatched away from her family again. At the age of 34, as she was being transported to Tarrant County following the skirmish, a photograph was taken of her in Fort Worth. In the image, she holds her daughter Prairie Flower close to her chest with her hair cropped short, a Comanche tradition signifying grief. Struggling to adapt to white society, Cynthia Ann made numerous attempts to escape and rejoin her tribe. She pleaded to be reunited with her people. Cynthia Ann confided in a translator, "My heart cries all the time for my 2 boys, Quanah and Pecos, who she was forced to leave behind." Despite her pleas, her family believed she would eventually assimilate. In reality, she remained captive once again. Refusing to forsake her Comanche customs, Cynthia Ann often sat outdoors by the fire, paying homage to the Great Spirit. Tragically, Prairie Flower succumbed to the flu a few years after their return to white society. Cynthia Ann herself passed away 7 years later, still relatively young, but seemingly from a broken heart. Quanah was just 12 years old when he lost his mother, yearning for her presence throughout his life. Upon embracing reservation life, he searched for her fervently, only to discover she had died and was buried far from him in Texas. The sole memento he possessed of her was a photograph given to him, which he kept above his bed. For years, Quanah navigated complex legalities to have his mother's remains relocated and laid to rest on Comanche land. Upon achieving this, he felt a sense of closure, believing his mother had finally returned home. When Quanah passed away, he was buried beside her, confident that despite their prolonged separation in life, they would be reunited forever with the Great Spirit in the sky.